Damn it, Gorilla. I wasn't ready for this type of chapter. I don't want no father-son relationship moment. I gotta play God of War. That's one way to escape from it. I know I was asking for answers, but I think I would be fine if it doesn't result to a cruel ending. Sorochi somewhat surprised the fans with a new backstory that leads to Gintoki's discovery. The problem is that it's clear that we are in for a dark and possibly depressing outcome. This chapter ignited a gripping story of master-disciple bond on a quest with inducing fear. This is not going to be easy. It's no wonder that we have plenty of comedy earlier. This chapter leaves nothing to laugh over. Maybe with one panel of a kid falling on the ground hard, but outside of that, it's downright serious. It's too early to call, but I gotta say, this backstory is perhaps the darkest one so far. It's the culmination of father-son, master-disciple, and a man with a hard-hitting temptation to end his heavy burden. The beginning already starts off with the dark vibe with Gintoki in the flashback, left on a journey to find something important. It's the first time to see him looking extremely determined. It's quite surreal. He asks the Inugami maidens, Ane and Mone, to give him the pinpoint location of every dragon hole. I admire Sorochi's writing for using those two and plenty of significant plot points. Even at this point, it goes to show you how his writing works. Whenever the character appears for an arc or so, they will hold a relevant contribution to exploit. One of the sisters explained a newly informed detail of the dragon veins. Even the lore gets expanded this late. There is no actual count on how many dragon veins are in the world. Not even the maidens can grasp all of them. Not only there are countless of it, but the size can differ from many. It can be the size of a golf ball hole, and it will be considered as a dragon vein. This does explain why Gintoki took a long time to resurface, well, at least in terms of reconnecting with old friends like Takasuki. There is another reason why he took 2 years, but we'll get to that soon. The maidens warn him that it can take forever, which already sounds impossible because human nature, right? But without an actual respawn to them, rather to himself, he was hell-bent to find it, even if it does take him decades. It's astonishing how much he has spent his 2-year journey going across Japan searching for every single one until he hits the jackpot. The scary part is he would have left Yorozuya behind possibly forever. Could you imagine if he didn't find it in 2 years prior? That's how unbelievable his determination was. Thank God he found it as early as he can get. I thought the flashback ends there, but it's only for momentarily to unveil the grand revelation. Usuro is alive. It's no surprise for fans to guess, but it is undoubtedly a huge deal for the characters. After going through many hells he brought in, knowing he's alive brought the mood down further. Gintoki recovered Usuro's heart after 2 years, so it is left to speculate on whether the latter will resume his reign of terror or somehow a miracle will bring Shoyo back. This is trivia since it can go to many directions with the heart in present, not yet form a body. It could be a brand new Usuro for all we know. It's kind of freaky to even think on what to do if they cannot kill it. I'm glad Sorochi shed the light on how Gintoki came to his decision to split up Yorozuya, though it came with an enthralling yet disheartening result. Gintoki proves to be smarter than what his image usually portrayed in comedy routines since he recalls Usuro dropping himself into the vortex of the dragon vein. Because of it, he thought the possibility of his body being vaporized by the Atana in which he was originally born from it. In other words, how could he die by what he was originated from, let alone being his source of life? He describes with simple yet good thinking analogy with Usuro to Atana and water to an ocean. What grabs his attention were Usuro's final words as he was falling down into the vortex. It finally cleared up on why Gintoki went hasty to catch him. While he did want to stop him from escaping in a sense, He was compelled by his words, which is why he was really upset when he failed. It's why Kagura and Shinpachi picked up his hurtful tone. It's those words that gave Gintoki a purpose to reunite with Shoyo somehow, some way. Could it be possible to save him? I was moved by his ambition as a loner. It is no longer for the sake of humanity. And he's not going as a Yorozuya. It's Shoka Sonjoku's Sakata Gintoki. Going to put an end. Back to the flashback. And once again, it's intriguing how much Orochi continues to explore more of his lore at this time. There is one dragon hall that is enshrined for generations. Even Ryujin, dragon god, dwells inside. That basically means that hole is worthy of attention. The only question was whether Usuro came out from there. Once the old man began to describe the story of a strange phenomenon, it was clear that Gintoki hit the jackpot. It's a good thing the image of a mass of meat wasn't fully displayed because it sounds rather disturbing. What shocked me is Usuro was a baby. It's not just because the fact he was once a meat and somehow turned into a baby without medical logic. What truly startled me is if Usuro was a child in the flashback. Why the hell was Gintoki carrying his heart now? That gave a serious bad vibe. Believing that he would kill a baby to remove the heart. The chapter wasn't over, but I was freaking out around that point. It felt like it was building up that it was just Usuro's organs. But with a newborn baby, the end path was looking very grim. While the ending is arguably the main spotlight, the page of One Night with the Baby is up there. It's probably the grimmest display this series has offered. The protagonist Gintoki has the baby that once led a life of murders and destruction. He had the chance to put an end to the baby's life, even though he probably could return later on. Even so, the train of thought drove Gintoki to approach the baby with a small sword and had the range to put it in. This was heavy stuff. I was clenching my teeth. Sorochi really got me believing that Gintoki ended it there. The paneling is excellent in this one page alone. How it shows his temptation to go through with it. His eye roared with anger, inch by inch to the heart, almost ending his suffering. Sorochi will get the protagonist's hands dirty. It may not paint the bright light for inspiration, but for the sake of deeper storytelling, it should be done. The next page was a huge sign of relief that he didn't do it. It's crazy to imagine how it would feel if he did do it. Although he's not doing it for the world, he technically did carry its fate by letting him live. If Usuro does return, vicious and all, it would be his fault. If he did kill him, it would paint him as a disturbing image. The other risky part is who knows what the baby will grow up to. What if it was going to be Shoyo? It's amazing how this one scene could have led him to many possibilities, but not worth feeling satisfied. It's jarring that after raising the baby for a bit, Usuro has grown into a child, presuming the same age as when Shoyo met Gintoki for the first time, and transpired to a short but really nice father-son master-disciple bonding scene with those two. Two things. The role has been reversed as the two's journey along the way. I feel like Sorochi is being cruel to have Gintoki experiencing in his master's shoe, and later harbor another hardship end. That said, it does create a very appealing backstory. It does draw us fans closer to Gintoki's character. He truly cherished his master more than anyone. So even though he was bothered by his present, he can't bring himself to kill. He would rather risk raising a child that could bring horror back than killing with a gamble. As funny as the line, I feel like I'm raising a final boss is, it holds many truths behind it. I felt his sincerity when he remembered Shoyo, connecting with how he probably felt as his master is really touching to say the least. The most heartfelt scene of the chapter. That is until the end happened. The parallel is so striking. Not only it told us how the role has been reversed, but it was the trigger for Usuro to speak for the first time. Every single line from him gave me crazy chills. It's haunting how he can remember a lot as a child, detailing everything that answered Gintoki's question. Those words keep on coming, and it draws closer to the grand twist. The look on Gintoki's face is very telling. You know how tense it is when he's awestruck by his words alone. It could play off like a horror film, unable to comprehend the scene. The message is clear. Shoyo has returned. Honestly, it's early to say if that is really the case, but it would appear that he was at least on the polite side as of that moment. It could be Shoyo or Usuro lying under a false present or someone else entirely. It's very tricky, but that's what makes it gripping. It was such a heartfelt scene that unfortunately reminded me that this was all in the flashback. Why does Gintoki now carry the heart? What went wrong? Does it have to do with the request? It still leaves more questions, but I am thrilled to learn more. This was a strikingly emotional chapter that Sorochi has outdone himself once again. Just because the series is ending doesn't mean he is burnt out of writing. He continues to deliver a rich story with plenty of outcomes that is nothing but dark. The shivering tone of that one night was so intense, I thought my eyes were fooling me. I did read it in the morning, in fact, so you could imagine how I reacted. The storytelling has been excellent so far, and the ending was touching but possibly alarming. We have a long way for the next chapter. You just have to end it there, huh, Gorilla? Damn you. And that will do it for the review. I hope you enjoyed this one. 2 weeks break. But I'm really happy to see another flashback, and I like the fact because of that we're out of the war, we don't have to worry about every character to get their shiny moment or their developments or their backstory. So whenever they return here, we understand their character enough. I can still ask for a satisfying ending. What do you think of the chapter? Share your thoughts in the comment. If you like this and want more of this, subscribe to my channel, and my world will be yours to stay. Until next time, take care.